Well, we are now at our second Withlacoochee State Forest Campground in 2 weeks. Honestly, we could have went straight from Tillis Hill to here had we not had to go home for an appointment.
We are at Cypress Glen at Silver Lake.
Yeah, we've been here, we were trying to remember as we were walking the campground this morning, enjoying the sound of nature and the vibe that's here this weekend, which is awesome.
It is great.
Is this our second time at Cypress Glen, or is this our third time? I know we've been to Silver Lake here, and we stayed at Silver Lake Campground once. And I know we stayed here once. I feel like we stayed here twice, but we're gonna have to go back and look and see. I can't remember. But this is another great Withlacoochee River State Forest, campground. And like we were saying, the vibe here, just walking this morning, was just amazing.
And on our walk this morning, we ran into some viewers for our channel, Jim and Donna. It was nice to meet you too. And they watched our video from last week. Thank you very much. It's always fun meeting people that watch our channel. I don't know, it makes me feel good knowing that people maybe watch the videos and can get something out of it, and maybe it can help them. So we're not really sure what we have planned for this weekend, but we are gonna be camping with 4 other couples. This is the most we've camped with other couples since 2 Thanksgivings ago when we were camping with a bunch of other friends. So,
and we affectionately termed all that group of friends the camping clan.
Yep. So it'll be a fun weekend.
Yeah, we don't really know what our plans are other than more chillaxing, more bike riding, probably a little bit more off-roading, because John and Wendy, friends of the Stevensons, they got a new Jeep and they're gonna want to take that sucker out on the trails, that's for sure.
OMG, is it a beautiful Jeep.
Yeah, but now we just got up early. This is something new we're gonna try doing, getting up earlier, getting out on the campground.
It's been so easy to sleep in, being retired. We don't have to be up for anything. But it's getting where it's getting a little out of hand that we're getting up almost at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we gotta put the brakes on that. Yeah, so we're trying to get back into a routine of getting up a little earlier, at least.
Yeah.
But now we just did a walk around the campground loop, I would say probably a mile.
Yeah.
And did that straight out of bed, so my stomach is growling, so I'm gonna make some breakfast.
Yep.
We are back out on the bikes, and I tell you what, we enjoyed riding the bikes a lot last weekend at Tillis Hill, but there wasn't really a whole lot you could ride around Tillis Hill, just the campground basically.
Here, there is a lot of riding around this campground. Even outside of the campground, there's awesome trails.
Yeah, the Withlacoochee bike trail is right outside this campground, and in here you've got 3 campgrounds basically. You got Silver Lake, and you've got Cypress Glen, which we're in, and you have Crooked River, which is a tent camping site. But something we noticed last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon when we were pulling in, was this right here.
To this tree. It's really cool.
Yeah. When I saw it coming in yesterday, I said to Allie, she didn't see it. And she says, is it one of those, what'd you call it?
Where you leave an item and you take an item? I don't know if that's what this is or not.
I don't think so. I think people are just adding to it. That's cool. There's an owl in there. Allie loves her owls.
It's like a fairy garden.
So we're gonna ride over to Crooked River and check out the tent camping area.
Yeah.
And probably check out the water. Remember, we can get to the water from there, remember?
So this is something that this campground has that Tillis Hill does not have. And it has these little wooden birds sprinkled throughout the campground. Like this one here is a bald eagle with a nest and the baby.
His little baby.
And we've seen cardinal, we've seen an owl, we've seen a blue jay. There's a bunch of different ones.
We're gonna see how many we can see.
Yeah. And I think this tree is new here that they planted.
Yeah, they got a tree, looks like some stakes around it to protect it. So they're probably trying to get a tree to grow here in this center little pie-shaped thing here. But right up this way is Crooked River Campground, and no RVs beyond this point.
And there's the crow.
Yeah, I don't remember the crow. So we got a bald eagle, baby eagle, and a crow so far.
And here's an owl. And
another
of course,
caterpillar.
there's another caterpillar. It's spring, y'all.
It's spring in Florida. It's caterpillar-geddon.
Look at the red eyes.
And there's a blue jay.
We have a little blue jay. He's so cute.
One thing I do remember from before is right over here. They have a river trail, which we haven't hiked the river trail. We might actually do that at this time. Unless Allie's afraid of getting a tick. But, yep, they have the hiking sticks here. They had these here before. Looks like there's not as many as they had it before. Only 3.
That is so cool.
We might come tomorrow morning and hike the river trail.
I love the little pine trees.
Yep. Well,
Oh my gosh.
they had this before, remember?
I don't remember.
And they remember the hiking sticks, but they had more hiking sticks than they have now.
Hiking sticks returning.
Yeah, you
here.
just need to return them.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Allie and I have kind of, like we were saying this morning, we're kind of resigning ourselves to getting up and going for a walk, getting some exercise in before we start our day. This might be the trail we want to come tomorrow. Since we hiked the campground yesterday, we might just drive the Bronco over here and park, you know, and hike this trail.
Yeah.
And we've used this access point before in the Crooked River site to actually, we came out with our paddle boards right here, and we launched up at the main boat launch and put in up there and came out here. And that was quite a long paddle.
So we were talking earlier about what we wanted to do today, whether we wanted to do some kayaking or paddle boarding or off-roading. And I told Chuck, I really don't want to do paddle boarding this time. I think I just want to do some off-roading. But we remember this tree from last time when we were paddle boarding, and it was kind of a neat tree, I thought. It was kind
That's
of a
cypress tree, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's got some big cypress roots on it. Yeah. What was you saying? That was our
that
was our cue to, when we saw that coming around the corner up there, we were like, okay, that's where we're coming out at.
Mm-hmm.
It
Man,
looks,
the birds are loud.
the birds are loud here. But you know what? Love hearing the birds in
Me
nature.
too. I do too.
Yeah, the water looks like it's kind of down right now, which I guess we haven't had a whole lot of rain. I mean, you think, well, you know, being on the water, you want to do that when it's hot, but the problem is this kind of water, I am not going to get in because it is dark.
Oh, what do I have in my hat?
And Allie's like freaking
I'm like,
out.
I saw something peeking down.
Look
I'm
at
like,
that little
what
guy.
is that?
Look at that little guy. Let me see if I can get
He's
him
a
to
baby.
focus.
A little baby
Look
caterpillar.
at that. Yeah,
Cute.
he's a baby.
He likes my green, apparently.
Well, apparently it's still caterpillar-geddon here, as Allie
All right.
so affectionately termed it last week.
I don't want to kill you, buddy,
Just
but I don't
scrape him
want
off
you,
in the grass.
I really don't want you on me.
You know, you think, yeah, if it's hot, you want to be on the water, but I'm not going to get in this water to cool off,
There
so
we go.
we're not really going to be technically in the water. We're going to be on the paddleboard cooking ourselves because I'm not getting in that water.
No
I know
way.
that there are gators in there, and they are not able to be seen very easily with this dark water. What a difference a couple hours makes. You know, we were out walking this morning with our sweatshirts on, chilly, and now we're cooking. All right, so we just passed the last campsite in Crooked River here, 80. So apparently they have 80 campsites in this whole, basically, you know, Silver Lake, Cypress Glen Campground area. But we are going to head back to the RV, relax for a little bit before we do some off-roading and probably grab some lunch. I'm not sure what kind of off-roading trails they have up around this way. I don't think we've done that up here in this area. We've always done it either at Holder Mine or at Tillis Hill. So it'd be interesting to see, you know, what's up this way. Well, we had our lunch. It was a good lunch, except for I burnt my French fries a little bit. Met another couple who watch our channel, Craig and Julia. It was awesome meeting them. They're going to be here all weekend, so we'll probably see them again, obviously. But we are right now getting ready to caravan behind a couple Jeeps.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go do a little what?
Off-roading.
2 weekends in a row, a little off-roading. Today is a little warmer with the top down than it was last week.
Yes.
It
I
is.
have to say, that is true.
It is right now. It is
89 degrees.
Oh my gosh. She's not lying, folks. It's 89 degrees and it's only March still.
Can you hear the thunder roll?
So between Allie's pine cone addiction, Sharon's flower picture taking addiction, There's gonna be a lot of stops on this trail today. I have a feeling. Ethan, I hope you don't mind sharing the back seat with a bunch of pine cones. Allie's gonna do a donut. Gun it now, gun it. Full throttle. So this is day 2 of us deciding to get up early and do some hiking. Now, yesterday we hiked around the campground, but today we're back over here and we're gonna try the river trail.
I love these little hiking sticks.
Are you gonna use one of those?
No.
Well, you can.
No, I'm okay. I sure hope there's not any ticks out here this morning.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the trail looks pretty,
Open wide.
yeah, not a lot of grass on it right now, so
No.
hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, we've never hiked this river trail here at Cypress Glen, so I have no idea how far this trail goes. And right now, I'm not seeing any river, so that's why we just set a timer for 15 minutes. Because our plan this morning is once we get done hiking, we're gonna head back, air up the paddle boards, and we're gonna get on the water and launch at the Silver Lake and float back around and come out here in the Crooked River Campground like we did a few years ago. As we were telling you guys yesterday where that cypress tree is, that's where we come out at.
Yeah, we definitely want to do the paddle boarding this morning before it gets too hot, because as the day went on yesterday, it was getting really warm. It was cool in the morning, like right now I'm wearing my sweatshirt. But as the day goes on, it gets hot.
Yeah, it got up to 90 degrees yesterday. So this is our real first glimpse of the river out here on the river trail. It is beautiful out though. I love it when it's kind of cool like this, and it's kind of foggy this morning. It's perfect hiking weather. I don't know what this stuff is here, but it's pretty. Some sort of, I'm gonna guess fungus or moss or something. But man, really pretty.
So I looked it up and it's called reindeer lichen, which means that it's not actually a moss, it's a lichen, which means it's a partnership between a fungus and algae living together. That's why it has that soft pale gray, almost coral-like look.
Interesting. It'd be interesting to, if I knew how far this trail actually went. But we are walking basically right along the river the whole way here. And oh boy, do I see what I see that Allie's gonna have a field day with. And look at this. Yep, she's about to have a pine cone meltdown.
My goodness.
Pine cone city.
I love you.
We got some trees across the path here too. I bet these came down in the hurricane a couple years ago. Look at this. This is absolutely gorgeous along here.
So pretty.
So pretty. Wow, I'm glad we decided to do this instead of just walk around the campground again this morning. There's a nice little bench right here we just come to.
Which I'm not sitting on because I usually get ticks when I sit on benches.
Yeah, but it's nice, got a little nice overlook of the river here.
This is pretty.
Yeah, this is gorgeous down here. Not sure, but something just went under the water there as I was coming down. I'm not sure if it was a gator or not. Look how pretty that is. There's nothing like nature to refresh the mind and the body and the soul. All right, so we walked our 15 minutes, which was right there to basically that little bench in the overlook of the river. We're gonna turn around, make our way back, go make some breakfast, air up the paddle boards, get out on the water this morning.
So last night we ended up eating at a new restaurant called Papa Joe's. It's
New restaurant to us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's been there a while.
Yeah. It's like an Italian restaurant. We ended up having chicken parm and Capri salad. It was amazing. It was only what, $38?
Yeah. $38, and I had a salad too.
Yep. And we split the meal, which was just perfect amount for us. And they also bring you bread out too. And
Oh, their bread was amazing.
it was so beautiful inside there, and I felt a little underdressed. But hey, we live in Florida. You can wear whatever you want pretty much in the state.
It was so good that I told the waitress lady, I said, I think we're gonna come back Monday. She said, not Monday, you're not, we're closed. She says, you better do it Sunday.
So I told Chuck, I said, I think every time we come camping here at this campground, make this kind of like a ritual that we go eat at this restaurant. Just like when we go to Peace River and we eat at Smokin' Joe's, we love our barbecue there.
And if you are staying here at Cypress Glen or Silver Lake, it's only, it's like maybe a 10, 15 minute drive up the road on State Road 50. Definitely, if you love Italian food, we highly recommend it because the quality of the food was amazing and you couldn't beat the price.
Yeah. There was another entree that we were almost going to get.
Yeah, it was one of his signature. It was right next to the chicken parm on the menu.
It had pecan and bacon crumbles and I can't remember now what else. A lot of the toppings, but it looked delicious. But
It did.
I don't know. I wanted to be safe and go with chicken parm because I know I like that.
So if we do go back Sunday evening,
Yes.
I think that we're going to try that, and we might literally go back again one more time after our friends and everybody have to leave.
Then we went back, went over to the Stevensons campsite, and we all sat around the fire there, hung out, talked, just had a great time last night. It was so good being with everybody.
Back to the Bronco, and I'll tell you what.
Oh, we do have water in here.
Yeah, we have water, but I'm also super hungry right now. Definitely, I am definitely ready for some breakfast.
I'm so glad I got 2 of these yesterday.
We should have taken the water on the hiking trail with us. We are not prepared sometimes. Yeah, we are at the launch here in the campground, and I was telling Allie, yeah, it's chilly right now, and I'm sure it won't be when we get out on the water, but wow, we have cut off a lot of what we did before because that's I-75 right there. And that right next to it is the boat launch where we launched before, so we had to go all this way. But now we're pretty close to the mouth of the river here, it looks like. So we can just float, take our time. Me and Allie, Jamie, Wendy, and eventually Pat and Sam. They have a kayak just like Jamie's. Yes, Allie was just saying something that is truly true, if that makes sense, that when you see people out on the water, you're thinking, yeah, it looks fun, but when you're actually out here, oh my goodness, totally different. It's just the water gives you an energy vibe, and seeing the wildlife over here,
Watching the birds.
looking for gators. I mean, just glorious.
Fishing.
They're fishing back. Yeah, they're fishing back there. Jamie and Wendy, a little bit further ahead of us. Just told Allie, I said, look at the steps and stairs going up the tree. I didn't even see the rope. She saw the rope. Can you imagine climbing up there and swinging from there out into here?
Crazy.
Crazy is right, but man, this is gorgeous, beyond gorgeous belief. It is just absolutely.
I love it here.
I do too. Man, sometimes we rag on Florida in the heat of summer, but man, when it's like this, it's like 75 degrees right now probably.
It makes up for it.
Breeze on the water.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chill bumps right now.
yeah, I feel great.
So now we have seen birds, we have seen beautiful trees,
People having
fun. But now we need to see a gator.
A small gator.
I don't want it to be too close though.
And a small gator, like on the shore.
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's a beautiful day here at Cypress Glen Campground.
This is not going to end well. I can already see it because he's very clumsy.
I'm not going to try to walk on it. I'm just going to stand here. It's not actually too bad though.
He's gonna try to walk.
I'm gonna try to walk on it just a little bit. I want to get to the high part here. I feel like I'm in the VR game, walking the ledge.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Yeah. Oh boy. See, Allie, you can do it.
That was quick. Look at that. That's candy. All right. Hey, hey. Hey. Jamie's like,
She is the new flying Melinda.
Oh.
That was quite the long paddle. Not kidding. Even with launching closer. Oh.
Hello.
I have never been so happy to see you in my life. We are back in the little town of Inverness while we've been staying here at Cypress Glen. A little bit of a drive, not gonna lie. It's 27 miles, I do believe, and took about 40 minutes to get here. But we wanted to come here today and take my sister for a belated birthday dinner, or lunch, you might say, to Noodle World.
It did not disappoint. It was so good. Nick tried it for the first time. Lori had something different though. She had a poke bowl and it looked very good. It had a lot of tofu and avocado and different vegetables over rice. Looked very yummy. I did try something different with the pho this time though. I had the seafood and it was good. Parts of it was good. I really think I'm gonna stick with the beef though. The beef I like better.
And just like last week when we were here, we ended up going into the antique mall. Knew my sister would love this, and no lie, she was in love with this place. And we ran into a couple subscribers while we were there.
Yep.
Ray and Mary Kay.
Yep.
It was nice meeting you guys, and
Yes.
we look forward to, in the future, meeting up with you guys in your hometown of Dade City and going out and getting a drink. So our plan was, after we got done shopping at the antique mall, to head back quickly, see our friends off as they have to head back to Fort Myers tonight. Unfortunately, everything kind of ran long with us, with food and shopping, and they've already left. So since they've left, Allie and I have decided
We're gonna
you know what?
stay here in Inverness a little bit longer.
Yep.
And maybe go grab a drink somewhere.
And just, we haven't actually parked in the downtown square yet and checked out the
Yeah.
downtown square of Inverness. Gorgeous day out. It's like perfect weather, 80 degrees, nice little spring breeze. So we're going to take advantage of it while we're here.
Yep.
So we just finished having drinks over here at the Sidebar Tavern. It also says Tipsy Turtle on the side. So I don't know if that's one and the same or if not. But now we're looking at the courthouse here, which is really cool, and reading this sign. And the one thing that I found that was very interesting from this sign is that this courthouse was built on a square lot, but it's situated at 45-degree angle on the lot. Very, very cool and very unique.
Hence we're on the square lot, 45-degree angle.
Yeah, so cool. I love little hidden knowledge
Yeah.
pieces like that, you know. Definitely a cool little downtown though. Everything kind of feels like it's on a 45-degree angle, and I don't know if it's just because this courthouse is sitting at a 45,
Maybe.
but it definitely has a different feel to this little downtown square. I like it a lot. I wanted to know what the history of the Valerie Theater was here in Inverness, Florida, and I ended up finding out that this goes back to the 1920s. The guy who built it was a silent film era. He named it after his daughter.
Oh.
But in the 61, when Elvis was filming Follow That Dream, this is the theater he would come and watch the daily shoots from.
Yeah.
So I knew this town had some sort of connection to Elvis, because you see Elvis everywhere.
Very
How cool is that to know the history? Elvis Presley right there, watching daily films.
That's crazy.
Yep. So we're just learned that the courthouse here now is a heritage museum and a museum store, and it's open.
10 to 4, free admission.
Free admission.
Next time we're here, we'll have to check it out.
Because why? Why can't we do it now?
Because it's 4.
It is 4 exactly right now. So that's something to look forward to the next time. We do like museums.
So Chuck just looked up the question, why so many turtles around Inverness like this?
Yeah.
And it has to do with the mascot, the cooter turtle.
Which I'd never heard of a cooter turtle.
Me either.
Gonna Google that next. Yeah, apparently the cooter turtle is the town's mascot. So when we get back to the RV, I might look up and actually see what a cooter turtle is. So while we're here at Cypress Glen this time, I actually picked up a new freshwater inlet because of our check valve started leaking on us over our Christmas trip. I think the cold weather got to it somehow. My biggest problem right now is having enough room to get back in here and remove this, because there's like a plastic clip, from what I understand, that you have to kind of pry out and then pry up and off, and then this should just pop right out. Now the new one I have is a little different. The new one here is more of a mounted with screws, so I'll have to run some screws in through there. Hopefully, I mean, shoot, I hope it even fits up and matches up there, because this whole flange is a little bit bigger, and this here is kind of inset, so I don't know if this is going to work. So I don't want to really break this getting it off, because I may have to use it until I get the proper exact, you know, replacement for it. But we'll see. I'll see what happens here. Okay, as it turns out, I had to break the little clip that held that in on the back side of right here. There was just no way I was going to be able to get in there and be able to work that. So I had to break it. I don't even know where the pieces went, but it's out. It is out. I had this other one just hooked up temporarily here, and it's leaking around the threads because I got to put thread tape on it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, because this is not going to fit through that hole. This is much smaller, so I'm probably going to have to cut this hole bigger. All right, with a little widening of the plastic hole with my trusty steak knife, it's in there. Now I can screw that in, put the tape on there, tighten everything down, and see if the leak is fixed. Praying that it is. All right, everything is hooked back up. I don't see any leaks. It looks like our check valve is holding on the new one. Now I've got to go back in here and clean up this water so I'll know if we do have any more leaks, because this is where all the water was accumulating down here in the bottom. It was dripping from up here, dripping down. Let's see if all this dries out, because with the city water, I didn't have any leaks. When this check valve was leaking, this pump would short cycle on and off. You could hear it every once in a while. It'd go and recycle, or repressurize. So it was losing pressure. If you haven't seen our previous video on our Go Blue Tech, this is I think our fourth trip with it now, third or fourth trip. Loving this thing. And we do have a discount link that we will leave down in the description, and we'll pin a comment down in the comments below with a link to this Go Blue Tech system and their website. So basically anything you buy on their website, you'll get 7% off going through that link. So I'm filling the freshwater tank now. Definitely got a lot of water running through there. So, and you can see that the green light is on the UV filter. So it is killing all the bacteria in the water going through the blue system into our freshwater tank. So I'm going to let this fill, and then we'll take a shower later on and see just how things do. And I'll come back out here and make sure that there's nothing leaking. So I just checked the wet bay, and the wet bay is a dry bay. There is no leak. So I think I fixed the check valve issue, and now it's time to sit down and relax.
So that's going to bring it to a close here at Cypress Glen. We are going to chill out tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a fire and relax one last night here. If you are new to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can follow us on our journey. Drop us a comment below. Also, give us a thumbs up. It helps us out. If you're on your mobile app, be sure to hit the hype button.
So if you guys find yourself up in the Brooksville area of Florida and you like a nice quiet campground, do yourself a favor, check out Cypress Glen. Silver Lake is pretty good here too, but it's a little closer to I-75, a little more noisy. Yep. Definitely quieter back here in Cypress Glen. We appreciate you watching and stay until the end, and we hope that you have a great week until we see you next time.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.